Morning guys, Martin is back again. You know where we are, so let's get into it. So again, I'm gonna try and highlight at this point. I know it's not a review of videos and films and everything else like that, but I just need to get this out there into the community. I personally am not a hardcore Star Wars fan. I never claimed to be, and it's not something necessarily that I want to say or claim to be. However, upon spending my 12.99 or whatever it may have been, took myself along to my local cinema, decided that this was it. It's Christmas time coming up now. This is it. Popcorn ready. Everything was ready. Everyone's giving their reviews on it. And again, there's different degrees, different levels for this stuff. I'm not claiming to be someone who's so in depth into it. But for me, unfortunately, guys, I've just got some notes here from what I thought on it. This is my take on it. I know I do reviews of fragrances. I have to give my review of this one. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. Too many questions are left unanswered for this particular, how could I say, end of a saga is what they were trying to call it. And this was the Rise of Skywalker for any people that obviously seen it, thinking that it was going to be something spectacular. I had my thoughts. I was hoping that what would happen, it would be obviously Rey. We don't necessarily know her background. I was hoping that it would actually have been Kylo Ren, who we do know to be a Skywalker, to actually rise, but actually rise in respect of the dark side and take that forward. Because I keep seeing with these films, it seems to be that the dark side is nothing to be feared. The dark side doesn't seem to have anything going really for it anymore. When the Force Awakens came out, Kylo Ren came out in the beginning, he seemed to have this sort of flame and this anger and this passion to, we're gonna get a solution here. And I was thinking, yes, Then we had the last, was it? Can't even think after that one. Then something else came out in the interim. I want to say The Last Jedi, but I don't think that's probably what it's called. And then after that one, then we have the very, very last one, which is Sky Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. Yes. Let's get into it, guys. So just very briefly, there's just these questions that I have. It was Last Jedi. And again, this is trying to show from someone who's a layman's perspective why they could find flaws in this last film. First of all, this point about the bringing this point about Finn says something to Poe, says something to Ren when the again spoilers are going to be here, but says something to Ren when they're falling through some sort of like sandpit thing, and he says, "Oh, I have something to tell you." That's it. Put it out there. That's it. Nothing else said. Nothing else seems to come about it. A line which could be crucial to the film. It could change something, change that perspective as to what it means to understand the Force, be a Jedi, or even from Finn's perspective, to be someone who was potentially or before was a stormtrooper and now he's defected and now he's here. He could have said something that was quite substantial and nothing came from it. It was just put out there. Who cares? Let's move on with life. So that's number one on there. Number two, the Knights of Ren, bad boys of the dark side. Who knows? I was even thinking, you know what? These could be another type of Jedi that has not even been explored. This could be a complete different realm to get into. What comes from it? Nothing at all. They did sweet FA. Nothing came from it in the end. Even to the point where the stormtroopers were like, "Oh, the Knights of Ren, something's going on here." Nothing. End up fighting Kylo Ren in the end, and it didn't even last that long. So, I mean, they could have been anyone. And one thing I keep noticing with these Star Wars sort of films, you guys let me know. You had the red stormtroopers, which are in the final scenes. They didn't really count for anything. They can't even seem to get a proper shot off. What's going on with these stormtroopers that they're supposed to be trained in this galactic order, whatever it may be, and they've got all this sort of technology around them and everything else. I cannot get off one clean shot. What's going on? What is going on when it comes to the stormtroopers? That's with the story within itself, I'm sure, about the basic training that they go through. Can't get a clean shot off. They only seem to hit somebody once out of the whole probably film of any significance, and outside of that, that's the end of it. So again, stormtroopers let me down. Gaps in the story just start to seem to come together or don't seem to come together. It seems to be a completely different film from the previous two. I do understand that it was different directors as well. So again, I'm not professing to know it all, but it just seemed to be like the last one was a bit of a mishmash. Yes, it was a quick film. I understand that. I don't blame the actors because it's not down to the actors. It's down to whoever writes the script. I don't know. I don't know why it was done in this way, but that's unfortunate. And then when it comes to this guy, Palpatine, I know he was killed in the previous one. Or appears to not even be there. Not really clear how he's in the new one or the final version of it anyway. just left me asking questions there again. And then also Finn and Rey. There seem to be when the Force Awakens, there seemed to be like a bit of there's something going on there. Second one, there seemed to be a little bit more of, again, the Last Jedi seemed to be a little bit more of like, is something else potentially going to happen here? But then he ends up kissing a girl called Rose, but that's not explored at all in the final one, which I don't understand. And then Rey ends up kissing Kylo Ren, but at the same time, you still don't see anything coming from Finn. You don't see anything coming from Rey, but they seem to be concerned that's the way the one is, but nothing seems to come from it. And what sort of annoys me as well with Finn's character, Finn was a defective stormtrooper, which it opens up so many things, so many questions. It's not explored at all. He seems to be like the sidekick. He doesn't really have anything to add. When the original one came out, or not the original one, but when the Force Awakens came out, I was suspecting that it actually was Finn who was an actual Jedi. And yeah, okay, they got us on that one. That's not a bad thing. But it just didn't. I don't understand. It's like they put out all these sort of like little sort of testers or teasers, whatever it is, but they don't explore the avenues of it. And I think it just leaves you sort of questioning what's the point of this film. And also in the end as well, technically, I know it wasn't in the same way the Sith was saying to kill him, but technically, Ren did kill the Sith. So why has she not become a Sith? I don't quite get that point. Yeah. All these new Force powers, never seen them before. These new things come out, which again, Ren doesn't seem to have been trained previously, but all of a sudden she's able to do these miraculous things and make things disappear and reappear and transfer in time and space, which seems to be quite interesting, but it's never been explored before. So I don't quite know what the purpose of, if it's the Force anymore, what the purpose of the lightsaber is anymore. It doesn't seem to really have any consistency in that respect. And I think really that is it. I watched this film and I was actually walked out scratching my head thinking, is this the same type of films that we were watching previously? And again, guys, I'm a novice with this stuff, so I'm not trying to profess to be someone who really, is really deep into Star Wars. Equally, I'm not really deep into understanding film and the making of films. But at the end of the day, I watched that and I was disappointed. And I can't say necessarily, again, like anyone else who goes out there, some people go with their children, some people go just to pass the time, whatever it may be. That's entirely down to yourselves. But for me personally, all I'm asking for is a consistent story. I'm not asking for anything particularly complex. If they want to put in little Easter eggs and everything else like that to the real sort of, the real fans who the hardcore die fans for this, by all means go and do so. This is just my perspective on it, but I went to go and watch it this weekend and I was unfortunately disappointed with what I could see because there were so many things they could explore, but they don't explore it. And I know there could be spin-offs, I know there can be additional books, I know there's little cartoons and everything else going on, but from my perspective, unfortunately, too many points are left open to be asked. They don't explore it, and again, I personally would have liked to have seen Ray actually become the Sith, and it would have been a flip because Ray becomes the Sith, and then Kylo Ren becomes the actual Skywalker, who we would have thought to be Skywalker, and take it forward for the Jedi Order. But Kylo Ren ends up dying, and also does the Sith, and equally Rey now claims that she is a Skywalker in the end, which, does she even have the right to do so? Does she even have the right to do so? So that was quickly, guys, just my thoughts on there. Not really bothered, to be honest, about it anymore. Very disappointed with that. Obviously, we will go and watch the next ones when it comes out. And I don't blame the actors. I think it was I think they've done a good job based on what they were given to work with. I'm not a writer, so by all means, can't blame everyone in this one, but unfortunately, I'm not sure what was trying to be achieved. People keep saying it's not Lucasfilms anymore. People keep blaming Disney. Yeah, I'm the guy who went and watched the film, paid my money, and I was still left asking questions and couldn't even understand how they're going to try and link certain things which didn't make any sense. And again, these stormtroopers, why can't they just get off a clean shot? That's what ruins it for me. There's all these epic battles, and we want to see more lightsaber stuff. We want to see more of these epic battles going on. Dogfights going on with the different X-Wings and everything else. What's going on there? Just, yeah. But hey, is what it is, guys. And before I just quickly get my thoughts out on that, because I really enjoy going to watch these type of films. But unfortunately, this particular one, or at least The Rise of Skywalker, just left me wanting more. So many questions asked, unanswered in this film. And to the point you just leave it out there. I have something to tell you. Never going to mention it again. Ciao.